crowning beans, and then there's some attention to.
Hold on just a second. Well, hold on. I got to start that question again. These guys are driving me crazy.
Is that a blooper reel moment?
Yeah, for sure. We're just going to keep rolling. This is great. This is end of the year material.
Mistakes eliminates duplication.
Oh my God. Oh my. Are you kidding me? You know what? Let me see if I can find a fourth freaking place in the hotel.
No problem.
Another blooper reel.
This is great.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Jeez,
there's not a spot here that somebody's just not freaking.
This is the opening 10 seconds of the episode, just so you know. Welcome, everybody, to Funeral Nation, episode 114. I'm Ryan Thogmartin. That is Jeff, the Funeral Commander Harbison. Jeff, what is up?
Well, you know, I am right now having a tough time. Let me just turn the screen around. I am in Maine. I can't always say it. Kennebunkport. Yeah. I had breakfast with the Bushes this morning, and so it's been awesome so far. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. I'm jetting off in about an hour and a half to Wisconsin to speak at the Wisconsin Funeral Director Convention.
Interesting. You know, everybody wants to hear what we have to say. I'm up here at Maine for their Funeral Directors Association program. Interesting. We started the show and everybody's moving stuff around. So, right, folks, this is real stuff here.
This is raw.
So, Ryan, who's brought us this wonderful show and makes it happen?
Our great friends at C&J Financial, Jamie and his crew, disrupting what is happening on the finance side and helping funeral homes get paid, which is important. So let's roll that promo.
What payment method do you prefer families use for your goods and services? Most funeral homes and cemeteries prefer cash check or credit card over life insurance as the preferred method of payment. However, families who use life insurance are able to purchase the funeral service of their choice and spend 31% more on your goods and services. By encouraging more families to pay with insurance, you can create a better experience for the family and become more profitable without increasing your call volume. The reason most firms prefer cash check or credit card over life insurance is that insurance companies are a hassle to deal with, and payment can often take weeks or months to receive. With C&J Financial, you can receive funding within 24 hours of verification of benefit, thereby eliminating the hassle, headache, and cash flow delay in processing insurance death claims. Let us show you why hundreds of funeral homes all across America choose C&J for their assignment funding needs, and why many associations, accounting firms, and industry leaders recommend C&J to their clients and members.
Awesome, Jeff. So we both have been traveling. What have you been up to?
It's been a lot of travel. I'm actually, this is my last event for the summer, thank goodness. I enjoy it. It's wonderful, but there's business to be done, as you well know, too. And speaking of business, I posted this week, and it'll be on Connecting Directors, the FTC findings of their investigations, secret shoppers in the funeral homes. And folks, welcome, good job. Fort Wayne, Indiana, 19 out of 19 failed to provide disclosures according to FTC regulations. Folks, it's not that hard. Ryan, I mean, what's the deal?
I have no idea. I don't really get it. I can speak from kind of my own experience of doing a pre-arrangement for my grandparents a couple weeks ago. The price conversation, funeral directors just start to freak out and they get really uncomfortable, and I don't understand why, what the big deal is with just disclosing all the information. It just really doesn't make sense.
I know it's interesting to me that funeral directors don't mind talking about their paycheck, but they don't want to ask someone to actually give them the money so it works.
That's right.
Anyway, that's a subject. Watch it this week on Connecting Directors. Ryan, this portion of our show was brought to us by the great folks at Live Oak Bank. Let's run their promo.
Live Oak Bank provides finance expertise that inspires funeral home and cemetery owners to grow their business and preserve their legacy. Their funeral home and cemetery lending team understands the profession from top to bottom. They know what business owners like you need to succeed, so they specialize in providing custom financial solutions accompanied by personal service. They're focused on helping you achieve your goals, no matter the challenges.
Awesome, Commander. Who do we have on our interview segment this morning?
Scott Mindrum. He is the founder of CRAKN. It is a rum, but it's also a fabulous software. So let's roll that video. Scott, welcome to the Funeral Nation show.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm a long-time watcher, first-time caller.
All right. Well, we're effing glad you're here. So tell us about you and a little bit about your professional background.
So it's an exciting story of twists and turns. I'm a recovering CPA. Used to work with Ernst & Young, a very large accounting firm. In that position, I did everything from office automation projects to taxes and audits and financial modeling. So I had a lot of experience there. Left that in doing merger and acquisition work in various industries, including the funeral industry. And in '95, I started working for the Lowen Group, doing acquisitions of the large funeral homes, large operations, as well as mom and pop facilities in the Midwest. And first off, that wasn't my fault. The whole operation wasn't my fault. But during that experience, I came up with an idea to use the internet, use cloud computing. This is 1995. To use the cloud to collect and store family memories. Started a company called Making Everlasting Memories, MEM.com, and started that in '95 and grew it for about 15, 20 years. During that time, I've been in over 1,000 funeral homes in North America, SCI locations, as well as independent and other consolidated locations. Sold that business about 5 years ago, and then started tinkering around with the concept of CRAKN. And the concept of CRAKN was really born out of my experience in the field, seeing all the mom and pops, all the locations, all the funeral homes, and their frustrations.
Wow.
Well, you're absolutely creating a lot of buzz with CRAKN. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what the company is and what do you guys do?
Well, first off, do you guys know what a CRAKN is?
Yeah, it's a really good rum.
Kind of like this kind of rum?
Yes. Stop now. It's too early. I have to speak in a couple hours here. That's not a good thing.
Okay. So actually, a CRAKN is a mythical beast, an octopus. You can see it on the label. And if you were to ask me to describe funeral directors, I'd say they are world-class jugglers. They're able to kind of juggle rubber balls, glass balls, chainsaws. It's all in the air. And obviously, some of those things you could drop. Some of those things, if you drop, they break. Some of those things, if you grab in the wrong place, cut your hand off. That is, I think, a pretty good description of funeral director. So we're bringing CRAKN in with 8 arms. So we're going to take over some of those easier balls to juggle, and we're giving the funeral directors time to focus on the glass and on the chainsaws in their operations. So CRAKN is an efficiency monster to help get things done faster, smarter, better than their competitors.
Okay.
So Scott, CRAKN is a software for the funeral industry and funeral homes specifically. What makes your CRAKN different from software that's on the market now?
So in my experience across the country, across North America, I found nobody who was excited and happy about their case management tool. That was largely because the focus on those tools is bean counting. And they pay some attention to operations, but their main focus is bean counting. And I felt like with a slight inside-out adjustment, if I could create a tool that focuses on operations, which is what CRAKN does. CRAKN helps to coordinate, communicate, and coordinate everybody in the operation. It helps, with all the scheduling, tasking, and by the way, we also do the accounting work. So our focus is mostly operations, making, again, the funeral directors faster, better, and smarter than their competitors.
Right, which makes them eliminate mistakes as well, which costs money.
All right, so Scott, what is the future of CRAKN? What shows you're going to be out, releases you got coming up, add-ons, those sort of things?
Thanks for asking, Ryan. So we are planning our first national convention in October at the NFDA conference. The plan there is to have a major release of some exciting technologies that have not been seen in the industry before. These are things that were not yet put on the website, things that we've been working on quietly in a concerted way to bring exciting things to the profession. It's kind of early yet to speak in too much detail, but please stay tuned. We can't wait to talk to everybody about it.
Awesome. So we're at the lightning round. Are you ready for this? I've got some questions for you so we get to know you a little bit better, and I'm even going to throw a wrench in one of them just for fun. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Favorite cigar?
Oh, well, I'm not a big smoker, but I'll take anything that you bring along.
Okay. Well, I'm actually going to have a Commander brand here shortly. Favorite vacation spot?
So that would have to be my honeymoon with my wife. Obviously, we went to Deer Valley, Utah for ski, and then moved on to Maui for the sun, and it was just awesome.
Good. Browns or Bengals?
That's almost an insulting question, but I also understand Ryan's on the phone, so there may be a tiebreaker in there. I have to go with the Bengals, but a disappointed Bengal fan.
I got it. Okay, so your favorite meal?
Has to be Mom's lasagna.
Nice.
All right, that's a good thing. Good for Mom. Who's your celebrity crush? We've had some interesting answers here.
So that's another one that I kind of have a little trouble with, but I'd say it would be Steve Jobs, because while personality-wise may be difficult, I love the innovation, I love the attitude, I love the not settling for what was the norm.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So there we go. If you had a magic wand that you want to wave to change one thing in the funeral business, what would it be?
It would be something along the lines of change itself. We are all in the industry, in the profession, kind of slow to change to the shifts in consumer wants and desires. And I think it would be nice to see that all of us be more nimble and being able to take on those shifts a little bit more eagerly.
Gotcha. Well, Scott, we're excited you're here. I think personally, CRAKN, I've been talking to you to a couple years now as you're emerging, and a lot of buzz going on about it. That's why we wanted to have you here. And so we look forward to seeing you at NFDA, and if not before, right?
That's correct. Really, really looking forward to you guys. Very excited. Thanks.
All right. But thanks. Take care. Appreciate you being here.
Take care.
Thank you, guys. Take care, Ryan.
Awesome, Jeff. I think it's going to be great to see what CRAKN does and see them in FDA and what they're rolling out. Management software and just innovation on the software side of our profession is absolutely needed. So it's great to see that. And this new segment was brought to us by our friends at Sitch Casket, absolutely disrupting what is happening in the casket market, setting up distributors all over the United States. So let's roll that promo.
Funeral Nation is sponsored by Sitch Casket. Sitch has changed everything for funeral homes facing declining profits from cremation, with casket quality equal to the top domestic brands but at half the cost or better. Sitch, only your accountant can tell the difference.
All right, Jeff, that wraps up episode 114. Safe travels to you. We will be somewhere next week. I'm actually going to be on Hilton Head Island for the next 2 weeks after I get back from Milwaukee for a much-needed break. You and I have both been on the road. I've been on the road 10 weeks in a row now, and I think you've been on a good portion of those 10 weeks. You've been on the road as well. So we've been all over the place, but next week, hopefully when you watch this, there'll be waves crashing behind me.
That's it. I'll do my best to be in a position to match up your exotic place, maybe back in the cigar area or the captain's private cigar patio. We might have to do a show from there.
You know what's interesting, Jeff, is just through all the hustle and what's happening, we never miss a week of recording the show. There's always content to talk about. The profession is changing extremely fast, and the good thing is it's weeding out a lot of funeral directors that just can't make the change and don't really deserve to play the game. So, that's just a change that's happening. But for us to be able to continue to do this week after week, regardless of where we are, we've done this where you've been out of the country, I've been out of the country. It happens. We get people that move around in the background. We get hotel staff that bang things around.
You see what they're doing back there?
It's fantastic.
They're putting out my lunch.
Wow, it looks like they're setting up a memorial service.
That's what. Actually, it's setting up a bar. So I'll be speaking this afternoon. It's early. These folks up in Maine. It's going to be a wicked pissa.
All right, that's a good ending note. Until next time, have a great effing week.
Out here.